This was Loudermilk's statement from yesterday. Quote, "Our goal is to answer the remaining questions, uncover all the facts, and implement reforms so this level of security failure never happens again." It is time to finish the job. So a few things there. One, this idea that the real question about what happened on January 6th is a, quote, security failure. I think that is already an attempt to whitewash and reframe this. But then also when he says it's time to finish the job, is the job he's referring to investigating the investigators, or is the job he's referring to the violent coup?
The job is to continue what Donald Trump started on January 6th, which was to overthrow government, to get rid of the rules we all play by so that he can complete his aspirations to be a dictator. However, we all saw with our own eyes what happened that day. And there's 3 days in American history that are the most important. December 6, 1941, when Pearl Harbor was bombed, September 11, and January 6. I don't even have to tell you the years of the last two because they're seared in our memory, but we also saw them with our own eyes. And so this is an effort by Donald Trump to erase what we saw with our own eyes. And he's not just doing this with January 6th to exonerate himself and to give himself clean hands. He's telling you to not see with your own eyes the rising grocery prices, which he said would be gone on day one. He's telling you not to see your neighbor being chased through a Home Depot parking lot because he's trying to work hard and provide for his family. He's telling you not to see the new wars that he's adding to the map and the ones that he hasn't taken off. And he's telling you not to see the drawing that he made for the world's worst child sex predator, Jeffrey Epstein. And so what my theme and goal will be for the committee is for the American people to walk away and put truth over Trump.
You know, this just reminds me, like so many things in this moment in post-Civil War in America. The Confederacy lost. They were beaten militarily, yet all of these people, some of them politicians, some of them wealthy Southern elites, if you will, business folk, they banded together to create this narrative, the lost cause narrative that the Civil War was really about states' rights. It wasn't about slavery and the ability to own people that look like me and Michael. The Atlantic's David A. Graham wrote on October 18th in 2021 about the new lost cause. He writes this: "The new lost cause, like the old one, seeks to convert a shameful catastrophe into a celebration of the valor and honor of the culprits and portray those who attack the country as true patriots. Just as neo-Confederate revisionism shaped racial violence and oppression after the Civil War, Trump's new lost cause poses a continuing peril to the hope of one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all." Congressman Moskowitz, I would argue that they want to change the narrative because they would like to do this again. They tried to steal the election before. He is going to try to steal the election again. He's not going to wait till 2028. They're trying to steal the 2026 election. January 6th is, this committee is not so much about the past as it is about the future and what they're planning to do.
Well, let's hope they don't try it again, although with that comparison, these are the same people that do Civil War reenactments. So who knows? I think really this is about Trump trying to exonerate himself and rewrite history, that he did nothing wrong. It wasn't. This is about him. Right? This is about him. That's why he pardoned all those people, because they did nothing wrong, right? It's Nancy Pelosi's fault. She didn't do security. He wants to be able to rewrite the history books. And so that's his piece. I think the Republicans in the House don't want to do this, right? And I think that's what we're
Then why did they stand the committee up?
Oh, because they don't have a choice. They're not in charge. Okay, what do you think? Speaker Johnson gets to cosplay as Speaker when Trump lets him do it, okay, when he's not out there saying Trump's an FBI informant. Boy, that was a fun little nugget. I have lots of questions about that. Like, how long was he an informant? Did he wear the same makeup? Like, did he change his voice? And why was he an informant? Was he there and then they turned him? Lots of questions about that. So, anyway, you know, we'll have to see where this goes. I think what they're going to see is that we're prepared to do battle. And once we have one or two hearings, let's see if we have any others. Weaponization, which you were on and a part of, that didn't go well for them. They stopped having the hearings. And so let's see what the Speaker decides to do in this moment.
But to your point, this is an effort to normalize violence, right? And when you're trying to make Ashley Babbitt the hero and Mike Fanone, Harry Dunn, Sergeant Gonell,
the bad guys,
Danny Hodges, the bad guys, you're trying to normalize violence. And we're not going to let that happen. We're going to make sure the American people know who the heroes are. We're going to make sure that memorial plaque that was signed into law is actually displayed, which they're refusing to display. We're going to make sure we understand what issues and symptoms the victims of January 6th still have that they need to be taken care of. And we're going to make sure we understand the role that social media played in this and what it can play, to your point, about a future effort to undermine an election.
And we're going to be on the offense. Right? We can't just always be defending, right? You're losing. We're going to go on the offense. You see that from Democrats in committees now when Republicans open up that opportunity.
That's right.
Congressman Swalwell, I know you have often compared this to September 11th and the truth-finding efforts that happened and the efforts for accountability that happened in the wake of September 11th. But I think there's another parallelism there, which is there was a gold standard for transparency in the wake of September 11th, and still there were people who refused to believe the truth about the lead up to that day, what happened on that day, and what happened in the days after. And so I think part of what you were hearing from me, Simone, and from Michael is a frustration that I'm sure you share, which is this feels like a bottomless pit. It feels like they have questions, you provide answers. The answers are not good enough because they are true and they don't comport with their reality. I mean, I just wonder at what point they decide that this charade is up and they are ready to move on.
Yeah. Alicia, you're alluding to like the September 11 truthers who said it was holograms or missiles that took down the buildings, again, to defy what we saw with our own eyes. And who knows what the motivation was for people to say that and to dishonor what happened that day to firefighters and cops. But here it's even worse than what a September 11th truther was trying to do. This is an effort to justify your own power and to set the stakes and the table to perhaps take power again by normalizing such violence. And we can't let that be normalized. And that's on us. And Jasmine Crockett, Jared Moskowitz, and I and Jamie Raskin are determined to make sure that there's many stories told about January 6th, but there's only one version of the truth.
Michael, they took direct aim at our democracy.
Well, they did. And we've got the dynamic quadruplets who are going to be sitting on that dais. And when you're there, Congressman, I want you to take that plaque that Republicans refused to display in the Capitol, honoring the men and women who were in service that day, and put it right in front and let them see it and let them eat on it every day and remind them, oh, you back the blue? Well, baby, here's a representation of what happened that day to the blue. Right? Because that's, I mean, to make it real for these people.
Right.
Oh, for sure. We're going to bring in those witnesses.
Either you back the blue or you back the coup. That's it.
Well, that's a good one right there.
I like that. I told you the back the blue coup and the quadruplet. We're doing it. Congressman Jared Moskowitz and Eric Swalwell, thank you both very much. Appreciate you guys.